How much more did she have to pay for this vet duck?
Like $70 more.
How much did the duck end up costing?
I think she bought two for 100.
If you ask most people, they would say Tom is the reason why they haven't hit their goals. But what if I told you that just isn't true? In today's case study, I am going to invite my friend Sarah and client who is inside Passive Earner Society to pull back the curtain on how she is a full-time OBGYN, runs a full private practice, and has a thriving Etsy shop. If she can do it, so can you. And I want to share with you all the secrets, all the tips, all the tricks that she has. This interview is full of so many gems. You're going to learn exactly what is holding you back from that really successful Etsy shop. You're going to learn how Passive Earner Society helped her quickly get being able to pick up what is trending and how to take action on what's trending and so much more. I enjoyed this interview so much, and I know you will too. Enjoy. Oh my goodness, Sarah, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you on today. I am so thrilled for you guys to meet Sarah. I've got to work with her in Passive Earners and another program of mine, so I've got to know Sarah super well. Sarah has not one, two, but she has like three different big things going on, and I'm so excited for her to share. So, Sarah, welcome. I'm so excited to
Thank you.
talk about your Etsy shop today and all the things you got going. So, introduce yourself.
All right, my name's Sarah, and I am a full-time doctor, full-time mom, Etsy owner, and private business owner now. Thanks to Tanner.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so I have been, let's see, a passive earner since it started. Prior to that, I was in Design Make Sell. Been an MGL member for, I don't know, 3 years
So
now, I
awesome.
think. Yeah, so
So incredible.
all things.
So, when you texted me that your conversion rate was in the 7 percentile, like I had when you were at like averaging a 7% conversion, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. We need to bring you on and just share your story of your Etsy shop because I really want everyone at home to see you as an example of someone who is a doctor, who owns your own private practice, and has time for an Etsy shop because so many people are watching this at home that may be in passive earners that may be considering starting an Etsy shop and they're like, Tanner, I don't have time. But somehow you've made time for it. So tell me from September, what was your Etsy shop doing? Like, were you getting traction yet? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, so I had started my Etsy shop like maybe a year ago and
Okay.
didn't have a ton of traction. And so when Passive Earners came out, that was a huge boost to really not just throwing things on Etsy and like, throw spaghetti against the wall, I
Figure
guess
it
you
out.
call it. Yeah, trying to figure it out. But really kind of looking at product mixes and seeing where things were selling and where my things were selling and really what people were looking for. And so kind of putting that piece together, it started to gain traction, and then I found a specific niche that has really boosted that traction, and that's
So
been super
fun.
helpful.
So when it comes to, I think the first thing I really want to like hit home is like, how do you make time with all the things you have going on? Like,
Right.
how do you make time for your Etsy shop?
Okay, so it's a commitment, right? Like it's hard work, and you have to decide if I want it or if I don't want it. And I think it was easy for me before when I came home from my first, my actual daytime job, like just to sit down and veg out and, you know, go down the rabbit hole of social media or whatever
Yeah,
it is that people, whatever your thing is to help your
sure.
brain shut down. But you have to really think about if you're going to have a successful business about blocking that time. Like,
Yeah.
okay, when I
What
get
was your
home,
time? Did you have committed time blocks or were you not like, were you more free flow in the beginning?
in the beginning, totally free flow. Like,
Okay.
I'll admit when I first started, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna throw it on there and see what happens. And if somebody orders something, I guess I'll make it. But really committing the time, like whatever time that is, however much time you want to put towards it. But really putting in the times for research, what people want, and where you can really be different than everybody else.
Yeah.
And so kind of committing that time, like, no, maybe I didn't really want to go down, and spend the time in my office for an hour or two, but that's what I needed to do. And so that's what we did.
I love it.
Yeah.
And on average, as you're building your Etsy shop, how many hours a week do you think that you, since September, October, have been giving it?
Oh, probably 10 or 11.
Okay.
Not like a ton, but like actual
That's
dedicated time.
yeah, it's a really good amount, I feel like. And you feel like I love thinking about it in like a 3 or 4 step. Like do your product research, then go through and like make some designs happening and then make some listings happen and then, give it time. Um, do you have any tips for like your listing flow?
Um, Learning really the ins and outs of Etsy, what what makes Etsy's search engine find you, and how to leverage that, like just in the wording and in Passive Burners, they teach you how to word things in the title and how to do your tags and to really catch the system and how the system works and works for you, like make it work for you. Watching the stats. I'm a stats nerd, but watching the stats and be like, oh, okay, when are people buying? When I notice, people like to buy things on Saturday and Sunday nights. That must be within the rabbit hole of Etsy.
Yes,
So
when they're home shopping.
yes, so you have to, if you're gonna have a sale, then you hit it at that piece of time. You like just watching those trends and learning, and Passive Burners is great for that because they can teach you all those pieces that it's really Etsy's a business, and there's a lot of work to do and there's a lot of helpful things, but if you don't know they're there, then you can't utilize them to
Totally.
help your business.
How long, I don't know if I didn't prep you with this question.
Okay.
How long did it take from joining Passive Earners to get traction with your shop? I don't know if it was your first sale, but once you started seeing like consistency in your shop, or your first sale, once you started taking it serious with your listings and your titles and research, like how long did it take?
Probably 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And I'm not very patient, so I really like, well, I'm in Passive Earners. It should just start rolling
It's
in
just
now.
magic.
Right, it should be magic.
Yeah.
But just learning the process behind it, I think is super important while you're building your listings and making them good listings, not just random pictures that you're throwing up. Pictures are huge, and
Yeah.
like not
They're gonna
just
make or break.
yes, between your product and another, and not really underselling yourself either. Like when you're doing your research, obviously I don't pick the highest price, but I'm not gonna sell dirt cheap either because that's not
Where
gonna
it's like, wait, why is it so cheap?
right.
That's what I always question. I'm like, wait, how are they making any money?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's incredible. I love it. So after the 3 or 4 months, what did you start seeing as that the first thing to get traction? Like, was there a certain standout listing?
Yes, there was I had the two that started to stand out that people were really, you know, buying more often than others, and so I really tried to make better photos for those. I'm like, well, if it's drawing people, let's add more photos. Let's add better photos. Let's better lighting. My 16-year-old daughter is super helpful with photos, so involving other people in to try to, what do you think about this? And she's like, no, that doesn't look good. So just really working on presentation that will really attract from the same card that somebody else is probably selling, and then being competitive in price but not underselling it either, and just really paying attention to the quality of the project that you're making.
Yes.
Like, don't just throw it together. Don't be like, oh, it's got a wrinkle, it's fine. No, nope, nope. Do it again.
Yeah.
And
Now
then
you have do you sell mainly physical
mainly
items?
physical.
Love it. So
Yes.
you're coming up with the full project and then throwing it out there and seeing what happens and all that, right?
Yes.
Love it. Let's talk about how, as a doctor and a business owner and an Etsy shop owner, how did you choose physical, or did physical choose you?
I would say physical chose me.
Okay.
I just by the route of what I was making, And I'm not a huge designer as far as
Like you're not having fun playing in Canva all day.
right. No.
Yeah.
Like I can do it. I do it for my business and I use it for making, the pictures that I use. Like that's how I make great pictures is using Canva. And so took the Canva course with Maker's Gonna learned all about Canva.
So fun.
And my sister and my daughter also bounced ideas off of them.
Yay.
But really using that to leverage the photos. But I'm not super creative in a situation where I'm just creating it from scratch, like the design piece.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you are comfortable sharing or not. Feel free not to. What is it that you're seeing to be like that main thing to sell? Like that you're making and selling? What do you feel like is like the standoff product for you right now?
Our hottest product are ducks.
So fun.
Yeah. Which is a lot of
Love
fun.
it.
Yeah.
And they're made with the laser?
Made with a 3D printer,
3D printer.
3D filament.
So cool.
Yeah.
And how did you find that through doing market research?
We did. We started with like creating groups of rubber ducks to sell, and thought, oh, people like these, and so that was a cheaper way to start than buying a 3D printer and print your own ducks. Like I said, I'm not designing, so we pay people to design the actual files,
cool.
and then which is great for them because they don't want to print them. They design them and we print them and sell them. And so we decided. Then we had people sending us messages like, "Hey, can you make a duck with this on it? Can you make a duck with this on it?"
And these are all strangers.
Yes.
I think that's the best testimony of like people like are just biting to buy from you so much that they're willing to like someone somewhere else in the world is on Etsy. They find your shop to no work other than make your listing. And they get in there and not only do they want to buy, they want to like message and ask for custom or, they're really, I feel like the Etsy buyer is just built different. Like they're not the Walmart buyer. They're not on Amazon. Like they are looking for unique. They are looking for handmade and they're willing to pay for it.
Oh yeah. Like for instance, we have a lady that's been messaging us this week who, she bought one of our ducks and then she was like, hey, can you make it with this for a vet duck for my daughter? She's a veterinarian. Don't want to look like doctor. I want to look like vet. So we talked to our design guy. I'm like, hey, can you make this duck with a little dog or whatever? And he's like, sure. And so we got a prototype and we sent it to her and I said, our normal duck is X price, but this is a special made duck. And,
just for you.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, well, I'll buy that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And, and she came up with the idea. Like, hey, I want this duck. And you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, I never thought about a vet duck.
Right.
How much more did she have to pay for this vet duck?
Like $70 more.
How much did the duck end up costing?
I think she bought 2 for $100.
No way. That's what I'm saying. Like people on Etsy are built different.
Right.
Because they're looking.
They want that personalized that they can give someone. Like it's a lot of giving. I feel like people get on there to get a unique gift instead of going to a box store or whatever.
Yeah.
That uniqueness. So I think that they're willing to.
I think in Passive Earner Society, I think that's the hardest part. So when it goes back to like the 3 or 4 months of you experimenting and being, I'm assuming you were just being curious and like being open. The biggest hurdle I see people that want to build an Etsy shop struggling with is that they want to put 3 to 5 listings out and then they want to stop and wait. It's like, okay, I did the work. Where is the result? What would you say to that?
I would say that that's not going to get you anywhere quickly. It's never a quick process. I feel like we are conditioned. I am conditioned to want results fast, right?
Me too. I'm guilty too.
Right? But I think this is a process, and it's distinguishing yourself from other people. And it took, 50 listings to get some traction.
Wait. Can we slow down?
Yeah.
It took 50 listings. How did you feel leading up to 50 listings and not having the sales? Like, what was going on in your head?
I'm not built for this. This is not my. I can deliver babies and all that kind of things, but this is not my forte. But I kept
Wow.
listening to you and passive bidders, and it'd be like, hey, you got to keep going. Like, it's not overnight, and it's a process, and um, you know,
It really is the part of, and anyone that's like struggling or in the middle. This is like the messy middle. This is normal in all business, all things. It's really figuring out exactly how you're going to show up when it's not working, and you don't know what you don't know.
hmm
And I think that's the hardest part for so many people. You didn't learn what was going to be a standout niche for you until you got over 50 listings.
yeah,
And sometimes you can get traction at 20 listings, sometimes within the first 5 to 10. But the sooner that you're willing to just keep going, keep pushing, I think the best emotion to bring when you're building a business is curiosity
hmm
of like, what will people think of this?
right,
Like, I come out with new stuff all the time in our Etsy shops and in our business. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is going to work, right? Like,
right.
yeah. So I love it. And you have been able to average, I think we were looking at the stats before, anywhere from 5 to 9% conversion rate
hmm
this year in your Etsy shop.
hmm
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize that that was crazy until
I
I
mean,
heard you say that it
that
was
means people are buying.
right. And I was like, oh, because in your mind, at least in my mind, I should say, like three to 5 to 7% is like so low. Like, yeah, I want like 90%, which is not realistic, right? But
Yeah.
in your mind, you're like, well, that seems really low. But when you kind of look at it overall, that's really, it's stable. And that's what
Yeah.
you want to maintain that stability of,
I think when you're in the 3 to 5%, that would be more industry average.
Mhm.
But as you're pacing that 7 to 9%, you're like, oh, I know their pain points. Like,
yes.
I'm really knowing their pain points. And when you're closer to a 3% conversion rate, think about how many more views that it takes to get a buyer
Right.
compared to a triple. From 3 to 9, you're tripling your conversion.
hmm
That means you can get a third of the views
Right.
and still get the buyer, right? So it's really working on that conversion rate has been really awesome for you. I mean, obviously for your shop,
Yeah.
but what have you been doing to see that go up? Or is it more listings? Is it again like what you're talking about, like more optimizing the listings?
Optimizing, I'm always looking at the SEO, trying to optimize um, what works best. Like trying to get those single phrases or single word phrases and then multiple words that kind of back to back to back in your SEO and
Mhm.
your title to try to bite more for the Etsy.
Yeah.
And then the more you sell, my understanding from Etsy behind the scenes is they move it up on what presents to people searching.
Love
And
it.
so, yeah, it's trying to use the system and knowing how the system works and
Yeah.
optimizing your listing. And the other thing I did was add more options to each and focus on holidays. So, like, we did a special one for Valentine's Day, and we did one for Christmas, and it is still selling, and I don't know why, but
You're still selling Christmas? Let's go.
my
Let's
husband's like, "Why are
go.
you buying this? It's not even Christmas." I'm like, I don't know, just
Don't
do it,
even question it. They're celebrating Christmas in April.
right? We're getting
They're
ready.
getting ready.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But when we did one for St. Patty's Day, which was a big, who
Did
knew?
people buy it?
Yeah,
It's crazy. On average, how many orders are you getting like on a week or like are you seeing consistency overall?
yeah. I was trying to think. It's so weird. Like I said, Saturday, Sundays, your views go up,
Your hot days.
orders, but then your conversion rate sometimes is a little lower because there's
They're
more.
prowling. Sometimes we don't want the static prowlers.
hmm I
Yeah.
also offer people the discount if you put it in your cart, but don't
Mhm.
buy. I'll send them that little 10%.
Love that.
Hey,
We
it's in
love that.
your cart. Here's 10%. I always send a thank you percentage off for their next visit, so I have a lot of repeat buyers,
Yeah.
which is good, right? Like I want to see them come back, and I want them to be like, "Ooh, what new what new thing do they
What
have?
new duck does she got? She's got the Christmas duck. The Christmas duck's still here.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
working on that,
awesome.
and just modifying what we have. Like, oh, let's change this duck color to this, which doesn't
Yes.
require a new design build. It's just a different duck, and then
Option.
adding options to the listing. Not necessarily adding more listings, but adding like variations.
One
And
thing I think that is going to stand out for me in this case study and interview is that you're not just putting a listing up and moving to what the next one is. You're really stewarding well the listings that are treating you well, like the ones that are getting the views, like you're looking to make them better.
yeah,
And I think people sleep on that
yeah.
all the time.
Like if this is a good listing, what if we change this color?
Yeah.
Like, what if we change this piece of the duck, or
And that's part of
make it
what's
glow in
fun
the
with
dark?
Etsy is you can see sometimes it does take 30 days of optimization. It can, but it's really fun to see what a small tweak can do.
I mean,
So awesome.
making one glow in the dark is a huge change, right? Like people are like, oh, it glows in the dark too. Like yes.
Yeah.
So
That's incredible.
yeah,
What would you say for someone that is out there that is also busy, that lives a full life, but is super creative? What would you say to them if they're considering starting an Etsy shop?
I would say that it's an amazing opportunity. It can be very humbling in the beginning because you're like, why is nobody buying anything? It's and not to take it personal when people aren't buying things because I feel like oh they just don't like me. It's not you. It's just the market, and you have to find
Yeah.
something that you're doing different to stand out.
Yes.
And so I think that that makes a big difference. And just once you find that is working on tweaking that. Like I said, we don't do our own designs, but we tweak the designs we get when we
Yes.
and we change it and we add options and people like that. They like options and then you have the personal orders come in and I looked at my husband, I'm like, I don't know how to do that. He's like, we'll figure it out. And I'm like, okay.
I love it.
So I think
You're having
just
so much fun. Husband and wife duo.
staying consistent is a big thing.
Yeah.
And then really blocking off time. Like make it I mean, if you want it to work, make it a time thing. Like it's not time to watch TV. It's not time to scroll down the Instagram. If you want it to work, you have to make time for that.
Yeah. I love it. What would you say was your favorite part of Passive Earners? What was the favorite takeaway from is it curriculum? Is it the coaching? Like, what do you think is that one thing?
I love the coaching, obviously, because I've done coaching with you multiple times. I love the coaching. And when I originally joined, I was really nervous about getting coached because some people, I mean, I grew up in the medical society and coaching in our training was not kind. And so I really appreciate the kind coaching, like the constructive coaching, not the what were you thinking? This looks terrible.
Right.
Like constructive coaching and not taking it personal. Like this is not about you. It's not about your skill or whatever. It's just let's make this better and help you. I love the enthusiasm and the dedication you and your team have.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, we love it. We love having you and all your amazingness. I mean, I just think it's so incredible. Like, I just for anyone here that feels like they're super busy and that they're, life feels really hard. Like, it can be hard and you can have so much fun in it. Like building an Etsy shop, we're not saying it's a get rich quick scheme at all. Like, we're saying, are you willing to meet us and have fun and make this a journey? And it's like working out at the gym. Like, you're go show up for a long time and you may not see the benefit yet, but you're go feel the pain and it's go take a while for you to really see the fruit. But now Sarah, I mean, look at Sarah. Within a couple of months, she has an amazing Etsy shop where she's getting consistent orders. She could probably stop working on the listing side. And this is the beauty. Like, past Sarah setting up all those listings is now getting paid for current, like, you know what I mean? For all the past work that she's done and like was questioning, like, where is the success here? Well, here it is. It just is delayed. It's a very much you put work in today. It may take a while, and you still have to show up in that messy middle. So I love it. I think you're such an example of what's possible for every single one of us to be able to show up, to continue to work, to continue to grow, and not being willing to say, oh, I work too much, or oh, I can't do this. I'll do this later. Like for anyone watching, like I really want to challenge you. Like, what if the time to do it is right now? And what if you do have the time? Like, I think that's the most important thing. Sarah, do you have anything else you want to add related to time and
Time management is hard.
yeah,
You know, I just feel like I was wasting time doing things that didn't necessarily make me better
move the
or
needle?
move the needle or what accomplish my goals, and really figuring out like, okay, yes, I want to binge watch this on Netflix, but maybe that's not the time in my life to be doing that. There's a time and place for that. But
Yeah.
if I want this to work, I'm gonna have to put the work in and get there, and then I can sit back and let it roll.
So good. Sarah, where can people find you? Do you want us to link your Etsy shop? Do you want to leave it a mystery, or do you want to link your practice or anything?
Completely
Can
up
I
to
put your
you.
links in the description?
Yeah, Filson
Awesome.
Creative is my Etsy, and my business is called Design Her Wellness MD.
Love it. Well, we're going to put links to all of Sarah's things. Guys, please go over, love on her shop, love on her practice. If you need any help with wellness, nutrition, you've got to check out what Sarah's doing. It's incredible. We love it. And we're so glad that you are in Passive Earners and here with us today. Sarah, thank you.
You.